drawings. This is still Anna, in case you didn't recognize me because of reasons. In Helsinki, we have this goth industrial party thingy that's called Club INFEKTIO. Since the next edition is on Halloween, they asked me if I could come up with a look that will fit with the theme. And since the tickets for the event are available at certain Cybershops, they were super kind and nice and awesome, and they gave me some stuff that I could play with. And one of the things is this contact lenses, and they're really awesome. I think they go with this very nicely, and they have a nice twist to them, and you will see that later on. And another thing that I was allowed to play with is this magical hair gel. And I say it's magical because I did not use this on my hair at all, but you will see once again later on why it's magical. So this is what I came up with. I hope you enjoy it. If you want to see how I got to this point, you just have to keep on watching. And after that, don't forget to press that subscribe button and like button and comment down below and follow me on social media and all that stuff. So see you later. Bye.
Start out with a clean face, and with the help of a pencil and your fingers, map out the areas where you wish to have exposed bone, and use your fingertips to feel the actual bones in your face, and then with a pencil just draw around them. Then take some liquid latex on your finger and apply it in the areas that you've mapped out, and then apply some pieces of cotton like so over the latex. Then with some more latex on your fingertip, apply that on top of the cotton like so, and that will smooth out the edges and it'll give it a slightly smoother appearance, and it will also help it stick to your skin a lot better. Keep in mind, if you have your natural eyebrows, apply some Vaseline or cream or anything of that sort in order to protect your hair if you want to still have it afterwards. Now that you've finished applying the cotton pieces, take some skin adhesive of your choice. I'm using Spirit Gum by Kryolan, and apply that all over the bone parts. And that will give the cotton a slight yellow tint and make it look smoother and all around more bone-like. But keep in mind to be super careful around your eye area, because just like liquid latex, this is not a cosmetic product, so you really don't want to get that stuff inside of your eyes. Then I'm taking some body paint and I'm painting the entire eye socket area solid black. As for the rest of that half of the face, I'll be painting that a deep red, and this will provide me with a perfect base for the prosthetics that I will apply a bit later. And it'll make it way easier to shade and color the whole thing at the end. Now with a dark brown, I'm using Icon from the Venus palette by Lament. I'm going around all the bone parts and give them a little bit more dimension and texture. Now I'm applying all over the bone parts, one at a time, some liquid latex, and then I'm attaching to that a bit of red yarn that I've ripped apart, and that will create the illusion of blood vessels. Now onto the gooey gelatin part. First, I'm starting out with the red gelatin. I've made it by adding some red food dye and some of the aforementioned magical hair gel. And I will show you exactly how I prepared this gelatin. But I will make a separate video for this because there were so many things that I needed to include in this one video that it would have been way too long to include also the preparation methods. So I'll make a separate tiny video to show you exactly how I did these. But in the meanwhile, with the red gelatin, just try to create a gooey mess, because the idea I'm going for is flesh and skin simply melting off. So try to create that illusion as best as you can. And also be super careful that gelatin needs to be relatively warm to hot in order for it to be workable. But be careful to test it out on your hand or something before you put it on your face, because it can be super hot and we really don't want your actual skin to start melting off. Now I'm applying a skin tone gelatin, and I've made this by adding to the entire gelatin concoction a little bit of my usual everyday foundation. And I'm applying this on top somewhat, but still trying to create that melty, gooey, disgusting effect. And make sure that when you apply this, you smooth it out around the edges of the entire melted area, because you would still have that skin attached there if this were a real situation. So we want to emulate that. Now moving on to the same brown that we used on the bone parts, we're going to try to shade the skin parts and just add a little bit at a time, and add more if you need to, and try to basically give more shades and more dimension to the melted skin. Now with the black eyeshadow, I'm going over the red gelatin parts, and I'm basically doing the exact same thing that I did with the brown on the skin parts. And just take your time and go into every nook and cranny of the prosthetic, because it'll give it a much better 3D effect and it'll really make it pop. For the non-melted part of my face, I'm doing quite a simplistic makeup. I'm basically just doing an exaggerated smoky eye using Creation and Icon from the Venus palette, and then some black eyeshadow base, and then setting that in with my usual black eyeshadow by Grimace. Then I'm drawing in my eyebrow, and it's so much easier to draw just one eyebrow and not have to worry about getting them to look symmetrical. Now I'm drawing a super long wing with my liquid liner. And I'm lining both my upper lid and my lower lash line. And then, as I do in pretty much all of my usual makeups, I will be creating a new inner corner, but not as exaggerated as I usually do, just a little bit to change the shape of my hooded eye. Now curling those lashes and applying a little bit of mascara. And then some falsies. And while the lash glue is drying and getting translucent, I'm getting into my Lunatic Cosmetic Labs palette, and I'm just contouring that part of my face the way I usually do. And then applying a little bit of liquid lipstick. I am going for a lipstick that's liquid to matte because it's way more long lasting, and I really want to have this makeup last for an entire night. Make sure to apply some of that lipstick also in the flaps of skin from the melted part of the face to make it look like your mouth literally just melted off. And now going in with some scab blood, I'm using the tip of my tweezers to apply that in pretty much everywhere I thought it would look nice to have some congealed blood. And again, this is slightly time-consuming process, but take your time because that's what makes it look super awesome in the end. Now with a sponge with a few holes in it, dip that in some more runny blood and go along the edges to create some more texture onto the skin and to make the well, melting situation look more realistic. Then ask a friend to help you slightly mummify yourself. And after this, basically the idea is that you can go mad with the blood. And I really mean it when I say go crazy with the blood. Then mix some of the magical hair gel into your blood. It'll open up the color a little bit, but it doesn't matter, it'll still look very good. And if you have a syringe, that's ideal because you can pipe that runny blood right into those holes and all those nooks and crannies in your face. And remember to also drip some down your neck. And we're done.